Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Kirk.
Well,
Thank you so much.
welcome to the webinar. My name is Kirk Anderson, and I will be moderating for Marlene Gargulak, and I'm excited to introduce her. She will be doing a presentation on achieving the 2015 presidential citation. So, Marlene, I'm going to turn it over to you, and thanks for doing this today.
Thank you. Thanks again. Just want to make one quick comment about why we're muting everybody and doing the format this way, and it's because we've had 3 webinars that weren't very successful in terms of noise control, etc. So hopefully this will be a good learning opportunity, short and fast, and you'll be excited to get on with creating or achieving this presidential citation. Many of you received copies of the citation at PETS, and if you didn't, there's an opportunity for you to go online to Rotary.org and type in presidential citation for 2015-16 and look at that copy. I had intended to send each of you one this morning, didn't get that done, sorry. But it's my hope that you've looked at this citation, and I'm sure some of you have made a decision. My hope is that you are saying to yourself, we can achieve this. We will do it. We will get an award for what we do. Many of you also might say, we already do all that. So being here and participating in the future seminars or workshops or webinars that are regarding the citation will just be to put this on solid ground for you. And at the district conference in 2016, I will be happy to present you with this award. So it is my hope for presenting this information to you to have a series of 5 sessions. Each one will cover a piece of the President Robbie's Challenge. So as we progress through this session, I invite you to think about a couple of things. Number one, think about who in your leadership team would be available and willing to participate in one or more of the sections that this citation covers. Begin to start a discussion with your membership and especially with your board of directors. So let's get started. I see the citation has a roadmap towards President Robbie's theme, which is, of course, be a gift to the world. And I also see it as an opportunity for you to really enhance and create your club to be even more vibrant than it is. President Robbie asks us to give of our expertise, to touch and uplift lives. He further goes on and asks us not only, like everyone, lots of people do, give of our time and our resources. And what he does, it's different about this and to report what we're doing for the purpose of creating relevancy for a Rotary Club. He asks us to share with our members the information that we not only input, but that we can obtain very readily 24/7 on the website once we put it in, and that you share this information with your membership in your quarterly newsletters or in your monthly newsletters, weekly newsletters, however, but at least once a month or once a quarter. Put down, how are we doing with the various pieces of this citation? So let's look at the citation closely, and let's see what needs to be done. And the first 2 things are really quite simple, and they're easy to do. Probably the easiest one is listed second on this slide, which is pay your dues on time. And I want to be very clear and affirm that what you need to do by June 30th for sure. Make sure that you have your membership data documented online. So if a person has left your club, don't have them on your roster at Rotary International. You're going to need to go in and and eliminate their name, or you'll be paying dues for them for that quarter or that half of the year. Pay your dues on time, meaning on January 1st, each of you, as new presidents, will get an invoice with a bill regarding the amount of the members that you had on June 30th at midnight. That's the bill that you'll get from Rotary International for the dues for Rotary International. And the second part of this mandatory qualifications are that you enter 15 goals. And you do that between now or July 1 and April 1st. So some of you are going to say, well, why April 1st? Well, the answer to that question is that's how long, or Rotary International needs time to verify the information on the web, rotary.org, and also to prepare the certificates and honors and awards that we'll be presenting at our district conference. So any questions about those two first qualifications, the mandatory ones? Okay, not hearing any. Of course, Kirk, you'll have to share that with us. Let's go on. As you know, Rotary has two, get rid of that. Rotary has two main goals. The first goal, of course, is to complete the job of eradicating polio, and you've heard that over and over. The second goal is to increase membership. So in regards to the membership goal, the challenge is for clubs under 49 members to achieve a net gain of 1 new member. Clubs with more than 50 members must obtain a net gain of 2. So let's look at that more closely. If you have a club of 49 by April 1st, you will need to have 50 members. Okay, so because does that seem difficult? Well, let's look at it another way. One of the next items is to improve member retention. Let's just say that if we retain 97% of our current members, and if you've got a club of 50, and you lose 3%, you're losing 1 or 2 members, you may not have your 50 members by April 1st. So what I recommend is let's get 2 or 3 or 4 more new members, or 10 new members, based on how much your membership asks other colleagues, friends to be, or invites them to join. So make a mark or think of a goal that maybe is 4 or 5 more than what you have right now at the end of the day or at the end of the year. Look at your club demographics. One of the things I had thought that I saw in this originally was that we had to increase our female membership. If it was 2, we needed to increase it to 4. If it was 10, we needed to increase it to 20. Well, that's not right. I'm sorry I said that if I did say that to any of you. What is right is the same principle applies with female membership to be increased. Again, small clubs by 1, large clubs by 2. Keep track of your demographic. How many demographics of your club? How many women do you have in your club? And what are their? And also you'll be keeping track of their age, their gender, and any other factors. I challenge you to really ask your membership team of your club to work on this and to create goals. I challenge you, too, to not do it yourself, and I'm going to say this over and over. So the goals might look like something like, we will bring in 7 new members by March 31st of 2016. We will retain 97 or 95 or whatever number of our members. And then the important piece here is to say how are you going to get them engaged and what are your concepts. That is a principle we'll cover in another webinar. And then the third one might sound like we will have 2 new women Rotarians in our club. So I'm going to stop and see if there's any questions on this part of the citation.
Okay, just to remind everyone, there is a question tab under the control panel that you can go ahead and type a question in there if you have one. One question that was raised was, how do I know what my membership is and how to track it?
Great question. Okay, so that is one of the reasons why we're doing the tracking on Rotary Club Central. Going in and putting in your goals, you should, as the president and your membership chair should be able to go in there at any one time and see the demographics of your club. I'm sure many of you have already done that. If I go into my club, which is the Rice Lake Rotary Club, I look at my profile, I can go down and I can see actually how many members are in my club. And we'll cover that when on the webinar covering Rotary Club Central. Okay, any other questions?
It does not appear so, so we can move on to the next.
Okay. Yes? Okay.
Nope.
The next part is foundation giving, and of course here we need to achieve 2 out of these 4. And again, in thinking about the foundation, as you know, and it's been repeated over and over, it's basically the lifeblood of Rotary so that we can do good in the world and in our communities. And I think that when I look at these goals, I look at the first 2 and I go, okay, let's just try to have a goal of attaining $100 per member per capita. Okay, you would automatically get goals 1 and 2, so that would be a no-brainer. It's quite simple. Even if you request that what we suggest, or what sometimes is easy to do, is just simply deduct $25 or maybe more if you want to complete by April 1st per quarter. Deduct $25 per quarter, and automatically you've got people that are putting in $100 a year. Better yet, I think going on to Rotary Club Central and going with Rotary Direct. Encourage your members that this is how important the foundation is. Have them enroll on Rotary Direct, which will it's easy to do. I love paying my bills when I don't have to write the check. It's simply deducted from my account and I'm good to go. Again, we'll be chunking down these goals, so I'm not going to go get into benefactors, bequest society members, or Paul Harris Fellows at this time. We will have that when we talk more about foundation giving on a future webinar. Remember, you only need 2 of these 4, so these should be pretty easy.
So Marlene, I have a question from Ken, who was asking, what are other examples of the 15 goals? Okay.
May I have permission to wait until we get to the end, and then we could go back through each one and just say, like, you could have a goal. I gave you goals. Well, we can go back first. I gave you goals on the foundation giving, and there you'd go in and say, each member will contribute $20. Each will have $100 per capita, or we'll get 10% of our club. You know, those, you could pick 3 from that one. This one I think I missed, which was Rotary.org, which here's where we get 50% of our club members registered in My Rotary, and that one, we will show you how you can do that. I'm going to save that question, Ken, though, until we get to the end, because it's my goal to help you figure out how to do this, how to go in and put in 15. And I'm going to say this now, and I'll repeat it at the end. If after we go through these and you've made a list of the goals you think, and you only have 3, maybe you have 7 or 3, it doesn't matter. I want you to be able to go in now and put some of those goals in. Then as we work through the process establishing goals, you'll be able to further put more in as we go. I did miss this one on Rotary.org. And again, we're going to have a full webinar on this one. It will cover how are we going to get 50% of our club members registered into my Rotary. Well, that's a tough question, because if you have an older club and those people don't use the computers, it may be an issue. We are currently working on providing all kinds of ways to help, to support you, to have one-on-one help to your membership to get them enrolled in my Rotary. So the next one is Establish One Initiative. And all of you are doing initiatives. I know you are. I know, and I'm going to be challenging you to look at even bigger and better initiatives, or not better, bigger initiatives or more initiatives as we go on. I know the White Bear Lake Club is doing initiatives on water. They're doing it on literacy. They're doing it with the second harvest. I mean, there's just so many things. And those would be initiatives that you would post. My club will take action by getting involved in. So that one is, to me, is a simple one. Where you get maintaining a project in need of assistance on Rotary ideas, or contribute to a project on Rotary ideas. This is all about sharing information and telling the world what we do. It's so important to many of our clubs in our communities are doing great things, but we don't know. I mean, the world doesn't know what you're doing. And I know Elaine, if Elaine's on, she's worked very hard with trying to establish different things at Facebook and other social media things. Rotary.org really does help, will help us to get our message out and to share what some of the ideas, and also when you're sharing ideas, you learn so much more. So you may ask this. Well, we'll really talk more about some of the discussion groups. I belong to about 10 different discussion groups. One is regarding district governor. Another one is how do we get more membership, and there's so many. Another thing with the okay, we'll go on to this. I was going to talk about Rotary action groups before I move this slide. The next piece is 3 out of 7 humanitarian service goals. And the first one on here really threw me for a loop when I was in San Diego. It was sponsor at least one Rotary Community Corps. I had no idea what a Community Corps was. So when talking or thinking about that, I went online and I looked at what is Rotary.org. I typed in Community Corps. And a Community Corps is basically a group of non-Rotarians who share our commitment to service. Okay, so they plan and they carry out projects in the community, and it's supported by your local Rotary Club projects. They help, this Corps supports your projects and you support what they do. So you're collaborating with the community as through a Community Corps. That has to be established, by the way, and reported on Rotary.org. Rotary action groups, there are currently hundreds. If you've ever gone to the International Convention, you've seen action groups within the House of Fellowship. There's several. So you can read through these. Grant management will be holding those in February and March. Of the 7, get 75% of your members involved on a hands-on project. So that would be another piece. Let's go on to new generations. And this is one that I've received a lot of comments about and says that's a deal breaker for us. We can't do this. Well, for those of you who have an Interact Club or a Rotaract Club active in your community, it's going to be easy. But for those of you who don't, we are certainly going to help you with establishing one or partnering with another Rotary Club to work and sponsor and mentor the Rotaractor or an Interactor. The last one, simple, update your club website and your social media using Rotary's visual identity guidelines. Elaine Case has made a fabulous book on how to do that, with the guidelines regarding visual material. If you go onto Rotary.org, and I want to mention, the format for this particular slide, this presentation was taken directly from Rotary.org Brand Center. You can find samples of brochures and newsletters and websites and all kinds of information on Rotary.org. So this one should be fairly simple. So, and I promised I would keep this short, and I see our time is going. I'm trying to rush through it a little bit, but I wanted you to know that we will be holding 5 sessions, of which one is today. But the next one, Ken, will be how to, I'm talking to Ken because he asked about goals, and we'll be working with you on goals and entering those goals directly into Rotary Club Central via a webinar that will walk you through it. And how do we get the goals? You look at all these pieces and work with your team. Be sure you do that. Don't do it alone. Work with your team to establish goals for your club. Again, if you're short by 2 or 3, talk to your club. See if you can develop a new one. As we go through this series, which will happen during the month of June, developing ideas for foundation giving and humanitarian service, I request that you invite or have your foundation chair participate in the webinar. Same thing holds true for membership. I request and invite your membership chair to participate, and new generations also. So, having said all of that, I'll stop again for questions.
Okay, one question that was here was, how do I get help creating a brochure or newsletter? What are other clubs doing? Are they doing digital? Are they still doing paper? Can you talk a little bit to that?
Okay, well, I would suggest that you go to Rotary.org and go to the Brand Center and look under visual guidelines. I think it's the Brand Center. That drop-down menu, and it'll tell you. It gives you like 3 different options. So there's samples. There's a template for your brochure, and there's a template for your newsletter. So we'll be talking about that in the future next time.
Okay. There does not appear to be any other questions, and so
okay.
I will just say thank you to everyone who is here. If you want to get in contact with Marlene, who is our incoming district governor, her contact information is on the screen. But please reach out to her. She wants to make sure that your presidential year and your club's year is of highest success, and is very eager to meet with you and get to know you as well. So take note of the information on there. Thank you so much for being part of this webinar. It will be available on Facebook and on the district website. And so if you know someone who did not make it and would be interested in this content, you can certainly forward them to those locations. With that, I appreciate your time, and we are going to end the webinar.